Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just getting a few things set up here. I'm going to find us on the Facebook page so I can follow along over there and get my comments up. So hang on just a moment as that pops on. Should be there in a moment. One never knows. Facebook is a mystery some days, like today. Let's see if I can do it again. There we go. Maybe it's here. Ah, there it is. I got it. Hopefully you guys found it too. Let me see. We have a couple people out there joining us. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, and then I know everything's working correctly. Hopefully, we'll get a few of those. Let's see. I'll give myself a thumbs up to see how it's working. There we go. All right. All right, let me put the camera on and we'll go from there. So let me turn off this. There we go. Hi, everyone. So welcome to Artistic Digitizer and Janome Live. And today we're continuing on with version 2. And now we're going to continue to look and explore our newest version, or actually it's an upgrade version 2. And hi, Marty. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to move this so I can see it a little bit better instead of behind me, maybe next to me. There we go. Might be a little easier. Before we go too far, though, if you were over on our Janome Artistic Digitizer Facebook page, you'll notice last week they changed and put the splash up on the top with the version 2. And this week they added, I think it says community support page or community support. And it's kind of like my splash page here. I'm going to put it back up. Let's see here if I put this back up. Support community. Sorry, had that backwards. And so look for that. And we've done that for a long time, since we started. This is the support community. This is where you go to get your answers, to share your projects, to hopefully not air your grievances, but sometimes it happens. We try to keep that to a minimum. We have a lot of fun on that page. And I don't post my videos there. They come live on the Janome Sewing Machine page, and then they go right to YouTube. So you can find all my past videos for the last probably 2 years over on YouTube under the Janome Sewing Machine YouTube channel. Okay, so make sure you check that out from time to time. All the videos stay there. Sometimes they're easier to find than what's on Facebook. And I think they're trying to, I was working on keeping a playlist of mine. I kind of got behind on that, so I have to go back through, but it's very slow try to move things on YouTube and even Facebook. So it's a little challenging sometimes to get all that working. A lot of hours doing like waiting for things to happen. All right. The other thing is, let me put the software up because the videos that are in the software, and I'll show you that here. Let me see if it'll go to where I need it to go. Let's see, open this. Oh, there we go. All right. And on the welcome page, over here on the, let me take this off and close that. On the right-hand side, the videos are right here. You can find all of these on the Janome YouTube channel. Okay, not the Janome America. This is the Janome Corporation. So you can watch these while on YouTube on a device while you're working on your software on your computer. So you have that option there. You don't have to switch out. So there are a lot of videos. I'm going to collapse them so they're tiny. There are tons and tons of videos, and the new way they're putting them in, they can add to them really easily. So there'll be more coming on. And I'm hoping when this says crafting projects, in the past, our developer has given us some projects like once a month or every 2 months or so using our software. And so you can, and those are out on the web as well, are out on YouTube as well. But I think now they're going to combine them here. So that'll be nice to have them there. All right, let me say hello to everybody. We've got a few people watching today, so that's nice. Let me close these videos. So if you have time, take a look. This covers a lot of the new stuff and our old things as well. the current stuff that's in there. And then this one here, accessing help. I really like, I've been posting the manual, and when you open the manual, it opens to the side now, so you can look through there while you're working in your program. And there's links in there that take you to, one to the next. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. There we go, and get back to that. And today we're talking about space fill and floral fill. So I'm gonna go over to my camera really quick. Let's see if I can make this work. On, get to see me, and then this. Here we go. So this is space fill. I took a shape. I brought in a bitmap. You can use embroidery designs. I'll show you how you have to convert them to curves first. But this is a bitmap that comes in and as embroidery, so you can use that. This is space fill, which we had shape fill, right? And then you could put it in different, in lines, circular, rectangular, whatever. But now with space fill, it fills your whole space, and you can have little to big throughout your whole piece, and you can control all of that in the software. So I really love this look. It's a lot of fun to play with this. The other one we're going to cover today, and this is wrinkly because I've been carrying it around in a bag, so it's kind of messy. This is floral fill, not floral vine. Okay, so floral vine has the vine in it, but has all these extra little tendrils all over. So this is a more simplified one. This is called floral fill, and I'll show you where to find it and how to work with that. So I'm going to show you these two today. Both of these I think are going to be a lot of fun, and on that part of it. All right, so hi Cindy. Let's see, we got Cindy, Carol, Claudia, Donna, it's RG, and Marty, and there's probably others out there watching. All right, so let me go back to the software and show you how you can use the space fill and the floral fill. All right, let me get back in here, and I'm going to put this towards the middle. We can see it a little bit better. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to Create New, and here's my hoop. And before we get too far, I wanted to show you a couple of things, and I have to remember now because I wrote them all down in the blurb, but then I didn't put them on my paper. So if you don't know already, right here is where you're going to set your default hoop and machine. All right, so every time you open up, as I did, you get this here. All right. Now, one of the things they changed is when you open up something that already has a name on it, it will keep the name instead of saying new. Now, I love that part because remember before you'd open it and it'd say new, and you're like, well, it's not really new. It's this is the flower I have right there, small flower. If I open up, let's say I open up this one here, you can see up here, Posy by Self. So now those names will follow in to the program, which I think that's very handy. That's really, really handy. So that's how you change that. The other thing, let's go back to this page here. I want to show you if you open up your shapes, or even you're doing lettering and you create something, it defaults in the beginning to like white and black. Okay, so if you want to change that, what you can do is create your shape here. It's going to be white and black, and then you would click on, let me just click up here, and you would click on the fill, and then you can either go to the swatches or come over here and make a change, and then click here, and now it will be that color. And then you could do the same. Well, first you want to make sure if it's white, let me cancel that, mine was white, and now mine is green and black. But if mine was white and black, and I don't want black, I want, whoops, wrong clicking. There we go. You have to have it selected. I would come in here, and I could either use my swatches, and maybe I like a red outline, and then I would touch here. So now when I'm going to scroll in so you guys can see. Oops, there we go. Scroll in here. You can see that the inside is green and the outside is barely a little bit of red. I want to keep that. So every time I open something. So now I'm going to left click on my outline color. And right here, graphic objects are going to have an outline, this red. And my text, I like text objects to have it too. I don't mind deleting it. Then down here, I'm going to switch it to for every new design, like that. And then I'm going to select OK. Now, if you were working in something and you just wanted a certain color for that design, of course, you could just go right there. So that would change that. And then down here for the fill, left click again. I want my text and my graphic objects to fill like this for every new design right there, and OK. All right. So that we've done that before, but when you update or upgrade to V2, it goes back to the white and black, and this way it'll help you on that part of it. Now, I always like to have a white background back here, and I have my grid turned off. And how I accomplish that is, again, on my welcome page right here, I choose normal as my embroidery category, and I like none normal as white. I could pick any of these. These are all the same density, all the same parameters. I just like a white background, or I can click in here and change it easily in here if I wanted to change my my background. And you can actually change it at the on your page as well. If you go up to the fabric tab up here, you'll get the same options for the page that you're on. Okay, so just a little going back so you understand that part of it. Now our color manager, instead of having, we have properties over here now, and when I select this, you'll see the properties open. Fill is at the top, outline is down here, and I can click here to expand. There's not a whole lot, there we go. So scroll up to expand what's underneath there. So we don't have our color palette over here. We're using a color manager, and we're gonna play with this more at another time. But you can set your color manager so that when you click over there, oops, let me get back here. You can have the order of your palettes that you like, okay? And you would set that even when you were when I was here and I right clicked, I could change my palettes right here as well. So to set your defaults on that, on your PC, you would go to Tools, Tool Options. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to go to Artistic and Preferences, and I'll come over here to Palette Order. It's just a reminder, you know, as we're working with new tools, these things have stayed the same, so many of you know how to do this. If there's I already dragged my Janome and my Marathon to the top, but maybe I had another color down, another brand down here, like Hilo Iris. I'm going to click on it. I have to make sure I've selected it there. And then when I bring it up here, I can put it in order underneath here like this. And I want to make sure that I've selected these because these blue ones are the ones that are going to be showing in that color manager list. It's not going to show all 200 something colors or whatever, how many palettes, what do we have here? 112 palettes. I've narrowed it down to just those ones, and some of them are just there just because they're there. Okay, just a little reminder on that part of it. All right, and I'm going to say okay, and I've done this part. I'm all set there, so that all works. If you sometimes when you make a change, it'll pop up a window that that change will come permanent once you close and reopen your software. So you can just close and reopen, and you'll be good to go. All right, and everybody's pretty quiet out there. Hopefully things are going okay. The best way, if it isn't, leave me a little message. All right, I'm going to delete this part here. The other thing is we're going to create a little shape here in this hoop, and I'm just going to draw a little shape like that. One of the things we have now, and before, if I wanted this to be as big as this, you know, hoop, I would just drag these corners up or, you know, use my percentages. But now right under our machine icon up here, we have the new fit to hoop. Boom. So I can fit that right to hoop based on the size of it. So if I made it, let me delete this again. If I made it in the center here, maybe more narrow like that, and then I went up here, there it goes. It's almost to the whole hoop for me very quickly. I like that. Not just shapes, but your embroideries as well. So now we've had that in other things, but now we have it here. I think it's gonna be very handy, the fit to hoop. All right, so there's my shape I'm going to work with in the beginning. I'm going to go over here. Well, actually, my small flower is right here. I'm going to select this flower here. This actually came from, and I could go here and get it. It came under Tools and Clip Art Library, insert clip art, and then I would just put in here flower, or you can use any shape, anything in here if you wanted, or bring something in from the outside world as well. Let me see if that flower here is somewhere. Is it this one? Well, these work like this. I'm trying to grab one that's all one color. So we'll use this one here, and I'll do insert, and then I can click and drag. There it is there. Okay. So there's my shape, and I'm going to take that shape, and I'm going to hit shift and select the large shape. Then I'm going to right click, and here under array, you'll find create fill from shapes. And then it fills it in here. Now it's showing pink because this one is outside, and that's okay. Over here in your properties, since it's a fill, we have shape fit right there. You're just going to click there. And here are all the types of fills that we have. Remember, we had circular, and we still have them, line, and so forth. Now, if you go to the bottom, we have space fill, like that. And once I have the space filled, I can come in here and I can change the rotation. Maybe it's something that's specific top and bottom. This doesn't really matter which way you rotate it. I can change the scale. Maybe I want some really big ones, or maybe I just want them to be smaller so it'll fill more of the space. I can change the spacing in here. Maybe I want them spaced farther apart or closer together. Woo, that's a lot. And that is like 68,000. That's not too bad. And then over here, you can set your minimum size and your maximum size on there. And of course, as I said, if you needed to rotate anything, let's see how they look if they rotate. Yeah, you can see how they rotate a little bit on this one. I would just delete this one. I don't need it. And now I have my all my things here. Now, what's cool is I could stitch this out and make myself some nice floral fabric. And then, of course, I'm the zip pouch queen. I would make a zip pouch out of this, and then I'd have some nice embroidered fabric. But you know what? I might not want it all one red color like this. Maybe I want to, kind of gradate it with, like a rainbow starting at the top, or maybe I want sort of like rows of colors ish kind of thing. So what I would need to do is over here in my properties, I would need to separate to objects. You would need to do this also if you had a multicolored item in here, so that you could pull all the colors, all of one color together and so forth, and stitch it easier that way. So separate to objects. Now, once you do that, these are all loose kind of items in there. And then you'll want to come in here and ungroup it because it's going to be stuck together. And now I can select, well, that's like the inside of that one, but I can select these with, if I click and drag, let's see if I can get a couple of these like that. There we go. And then I can come down here and I can left click here, and then maybe I want to make them yellow. And so I'm going to click here for yellow. And it takes me a little bit because every time I do, oh, here we go. That's what we have to do. Hang on. I have to select first this way and select here, or the pencil maybe. I have like terrible dyslexia when I think of this. And then I should be able to change just that. Oh, hang on. I did practice this and it went so smoothly in my practice. Let me grab that and then edit that color. There we go. Edit that color, make it yellow. And oh, my goodness, why does this always happen to me? Let me get one of these done. I know I did it earlier. This is like crazy. Okay, so let's edit that color to green. Changes the whole thing. Let's just take some of it. Not that, sorry. I apologize. Every time I do this, it works perfectly. And then when I go to demo it, it doesn't. So we're going to, if I just select my parts and I select here and I come in here, let's select a swatch. But I just want this one. Ugh, this is like frustrating. I know it's frustrating for you guys because if I can't do it, how are you guys going to do it? There we go. That's what I want to do. I want to select my piece. I want to select the outline or the fill and then pick a color and then touch the block. And now the centers are, part of those are pink. You see where that's pink? So let me go back and undo that. I'm going to select that. I'm going to click on my pencil and I'm going to make it yellow. And then I'll click over here and make that yellow. And I'm going to make the other part yellow as well. There we go. Let me do it again. And I'm going to make sure, see how these are sticking out up here? We want to make sure we're selecting, hang on here, got to get shift, that we're catching these little pieces that are up here. If my little cursor, there we go, my little cursor show up. Come on, little cursor. We'll go back here and get this one again. Well, we'll catch it after. How about that? Let's see what's at the bottom. Let's get this one and this part. There we go. I'm holding down shift and collecting up those pieces. And I'm not going to collect that one. I'm going to leave that one. Now I'm going to hit my pencil and I'm going to make those kind of a more red color here. And then I'm going to touch here and here, or actually here, there we go. And now I have my layers. And this guy here, where I missed him, I'm going to select it and then hit my red over here and get that part of it. Let's do it one more time. We're going to select our parts. Then we're going to go to the pencil or the fill, and then we can pick our color. So the bottom one, I'm going to go like into a purpley color, maybe a little darker purple. Oops, let's go into Janome colors. There we go, into a little darker purple. And then I'm going to touch the green part here and then down here to get the fill. And there are my colors. Yeah, see the color, I do like the color manager. I just have to get used to it. I didn't play with it before. And yeah, I did on Janae, I did ungroup the whole thing. I was clicking on the wrong part. When you select your colors to change, the part you want to change, you don't want to go here because at that point it was collecting all of them. What I wanted to do is go to the pencil and make my change at the pencil. So if I wanted these to be blue, I could do blue and then click blue there and it would make those blue, and I left some purple. So I think once we all get used to it, new things are always hard for us, right? It takes us a little while to get used to it. So once you get used to it, it works easy. Now this is quite fun. I think this would be kind of fun to do. Maybe I wouldn't have them so jam-packed if I was gonna maybe make fabric. That's a lot. That's not that, it's 82,000. Yeah, it's a lot of stitches, but it's not so bad. The other thing I thought of too is if you made a row of them and you wanted to put them at the bottom of your jeans and you started with like a dark blue and made them like fade into your jeans. I thought that would be a really cool kind of thing to kind of have it come up the leg of your jeans and get lighter as it comes up, so it sort of fades into your jeans, because embroidered jeans are very hot right now. I've seen quite a few of those. Let me show you using a shape like this that you maybe found out on, you drew the shape yourself, and you can again put flowers in there, like this little guy here. That was the one I have already. I put Janome. I don't know if I showed you guys this one. I did Janome in there, and then I used the random random satin for on the outside in a yellow and a red to make my machine hot. Okay, so let's go back to this. It's the same process. You're going to have your shape. You're going to go find something to bring in, and maybe I want to bring in, I'm going to bring this flower right here, and I'll just open it to a new page. I should have done from file and gotten it there. That's okay. I'm going to copy it and go back here. I opened the machine before and it had a name because I saved it. So it's the Janome Sewing right there and Flower Power for this one. I love those names now. It's much easier to use. Whoops, there we go. Sewing machine outline and paste. And then I'm just going to make it, well, I'm going to leave it that big and then select here. So I held down shift and selected my outline, and then I went down here, scroll on down to array, down here, fill from shapes. First it fills it with shape fill, then you come on down here and you can use your space fill and play with that, or you could do floral fill. Now floral fill this is just the floral and the vine. It's not all the little tendrils. And so here you could change the scale, your leaf size. Maybe I want to make my leaf size smaller, my flower spacing. And I started with a big design, so I have to make I have to size this down. Let's see. There we go. And then you can use your, whoops, hang on. Move too many of those at once. There we go. So you can have this floral fill. See how your stem is right there? If you wanted to use your stitch flow, you can click on stitch flow and then, let me get this selected. Then you can see I have a little dot right there. I can put the dot right there and hit return. There we go. And now it's coming from right here. Let me click off of that. Let me get rid of the one on the side so we don't have that pink there. Whoops, go up here. Make sure you're hitting select. There we go. So I move the vine to start there, and I'll click off of this so you can see my outline. If I want to come down here to my, well, there's the fill. If I scroll down here, outline, I could make this one of my favorites, the oval bean. There you go. Look at that. That would be really cute. Really nicely set up. And then you could play with, when you separate these, I would do some changing of sizing because there's some really small ones in here, even like right here. To see this one here, you might want to make a few little changes. And you can see when they get really small, they were like a little satin, and then they're now not quite a satin. So you can go through, separate to objects in your properties. Let me get my properties open here. If I select, you would separate to objects. I don't separate until I have made all my changes up here, because once you separate, then they're all individuals. Now, if I just left this as is, and I went over here to slow redraw, you can see how it would stitch the outline. And then it's going to do one of the vines, and then it's going to do some red flowers. I think it's doing this because some of the flowers are behind the vines and some are on top. So now they're going to do vines again. And you can see how parts of those flowers are underneath, and then the green, and then it goes back to the red. So sometimes I always like to check my slow redraw, because I don't want to separate the objects and move everything around and find out, oh, now I got something under or on top of, or however. And maybe I don't want it that way. Maybe I want it a different way, but I always check it to make sure the way it's stitching is the way I want it. So it had to do some of these vines first or after, depending on what was going on with the my pieces. And in your properties, you can change where things are in there. You know, your spacing, your branch spacing, all of that. The starting part of it, rotation, all of that. All right, so those are the two things I wanted to show. Well, a couple more than two things I wanted to show today. Let me get the camera back on and see if there's any questions. And let's go back here. Last look at that. There we go. So just remember, when you go to change colors, this is what you do. You select what you want to change, and then you click on the pencil or the outline, depending on, or the pencil or the bucket, and the little color wheel comes up. Pick your color. You can change your palette at that point if you want a different palette. Pick your color, click on the little color swatch underneath, and you use colors, and it'll change the color. That's what you do. I was doing it before the opposite way, so that it was changing everything all at once. So once you get that, once you play with that a few times and you get real comfortable with it, I think I'm going to do some more things playing with our color manager so we get used to it. We've had it for a long time, and I think I avoided it because I really liked the palette. But there's some other features under the color manager also that we don't play with that we could, like harmonies and different things that you can change there. So you can look at your design changing, within harmony, colors that all go together, kind of thing. So if you play with those, you'll see some interesting things happening to your colors. If you're not good at picking like shades or colors that are going to work together, you can do that. Yes, you could make all the black. Yes, if you did separate to object scale, you could pick the black and have the black all stitch at once, and then the red on top of it, and then the green on top of that. I think the way it's stitched for us is because some of it was on top of the flowers, and some of it was behind the flowers. So that's why it was stitching that way. But that's why I check first in slow redraw, because sometimes there's a part you do want it to go behind the flower or whatever is in there. Maybe, whatever you put in there might be something different, but make sure you check that. It doesn't always mean, that vine is going to, you want it always in the background. Maybe you don't. You just have to check and play with that part of it. And I don't think mine had very many leaves. I think I changed the scale of the leaf down, so there weren't very many leaves in there. That adds to the mix of colors in there as well. But I love playing with these two things. The floral fill, you can use that in squares and shapes and things like that. And again, if you just wanted to stitch it at the bottom of your pants coming up, you can do that without using the outline and just have your flowers, your vine, coming up your pant leg. And then you can actually, do one, rehoop, and do a second one, third one, so forth, going up your leg. Or if you wanted it, you could start at the top and work your way down, depending on how you want the layers to look. That's for AccuSetter, would be really handy for that. So I've got a lot of things. I bought a couple things that I want to embroider on. I just haven't figured out. I'm sort of like a squirrel, like, oh, I want to do this, and oh, I want to do that over here. So I got to and I'm working on a project for Janome at the same time right now. So I got to get that finished up, and we can go from there. All right, so let me talk about, Marty, thank you for going on to V2. Let me talk about that really quickly. There's been a lot of hubbub about it. First of all, the Janome Artistic Digitizer page, that is managed by Janome USA. And we are a global page, though. So everybody comes there, which I love. It's so great to have everyone from all over the world in one spot, because everybody uses and I don't know if you notice this, people in different parts of the country use this, or in the world use the software differently. So it's good to see that global presence on our page, and we get lots and lots of different looks at things. Now, the thing is, you don't have to upgrade to V2 if you don't want to. You can stay at 1.7. That's not a problem. In the beginning here, I am going to be showing all the parts of V2. So I just have to bear with that. And then eventually, some of the things I do will just be, they might not include something from V2. I don't know, but I will kind of put things together. And then, so how V2 works, if you purchased or activated your software after January 1, 2025, so you may have bought it a year ago, but you didn't open it, you didn't activate it, that anything there, that would be, or if you purchased a 1.7 right now, that would update free within the software itself. You get a little pop-up window, it would update free. If you purchased before there or activated before there, that's where you would need to purchase an update for whatever level you're at. If you're junior, you want the junior update to V2. If you're full program, you want the full program update to V2. Okay. And then we are running, I know Janome USA is running a special. I heard Canada was, so was Australia. The product isn't in every location yet, but dealers are getting the information. I'm pretty sure if you call them, they can put you on a wait list for that. So as soon as it comes in, you can get your copies of that. It is a physical product like we normally do. We don't do like a link. Well, there is a link in there, but you need the physical product. We do have a physical product. There is an update that goes from junior 1.7 to full V2. Okay, so there's like 3 different things in there, 3 different things. It's a little confusing. And I know the upgrade thing was very confusing. I'm using both right now because it started out with update. Now I'm seeing upgrade. So I don't want people to get, confused. We're all confused anyways. Okay. Let me think what else. So Darla, yes, it is well, I think it's just getting here to the States, and then I don't know other countries, when it's going to be there. Our special is running into September, so I'm sure they're hoping, by the 1st of September of having those in. I don't know, and that date I don't even know when it's coming in. They don't tell me that kind of stuff. Once I hear it, I know it's here. So, but you can reach out to your dealers now and tell them you saw V2. You want to be on the list, you want to update or upgrade your full program to a V2 so they know what they're waiting on or what they need to order and so forth on there. Okay. All right. Let's see. I know it's exciting. I'm glad you guys are excited about it. There's so many things in it. And Peter Barrett's on there today. He has some great things that he's done. He's been posting his stuff. He's so creative. Oh my goodness. And so I think as we go along and you guys see, especially you could see more of it if you look at those videos I showed you. If you go to, if you look on YouTube and put in Janome Artistic Digitizer V2, you'll come up with all the new videos and you can look at what's new in the program. I posted both the junior and the full manuals on the Janome Artistic Digitizer support community page. So you can scroll down and find that. And then in there, in the manual, if you go to page 18 and then the other one is 22, you'll find a list of everything that's new and links to what it looks like. So easy ways to find out what's in it so you can see that part. Okay. All right. Gail wants it today. I know. When I saw it, I wanted it right away, and I saw it a while ago. So anyways, all right, everybody, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm doing something I'm doing embroidery link for the CM17, sort of like a start to finish project. We're not doing any stitching, but I'm going to show you how we bring something into embroidery link, how we work with it, and we get our final product, and then how we can take it to our machine. Okay, so I will see you all tomorrow. If you want to stop back in, I usually post it here, and then it goes to YouTube. And then Janome will put it on the Continental Club page at some point too. All right, everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.